first airline in the world to receive the Airbus A310. That is how Nigeria Airways was in its time. The airline was a repository of world-class technical know-how. And when I say world-class technical know-how, it's pilots, it's engineers, the people who ran the core of that company were second to none in the world. And it is those people that helped get all these private airlines that succeeded Nigeria Airways came about from the people who came out of Nigeria Airways. So the Okada Airs, the Cabo Airs, the next generation of them was the ADCs. They were made up of people who Nigeria Airways had built with skills that were not second to anybody in the world.
George Uriase, one of Nigeria's finest aviation experts there, speaking about the beautiful beginning of Nigeria's aviation in the early days of Nigerian Airways. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning, as popularly said in the religious circle. If this statement is anything to go by, then one would have expected nothing but continuous improvement.
It stimulates and supports tourism and also creates opportunities for international businesses and market links between entrepreneurs. The aviation sector is also a veritable tool for income generation and economic development in Nigeria. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the aviation industry contributed at least 117.3 billion to the Nigerian economy in the first half of 2022. The Bureau, in its Nigerian Gross Domestic Report, second quarter 2022, stated that the sector raised 84.7 billion in the first quarter and 32.6 billion in the second quarter. While these strides are impressive, the sector has however faced a myriad of challenges in recent times. The aviation sector was greatly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and the reason is not far-fetched. In a bid to reduce the spread of the pandemic, countries have imposed severe travel restrictions and lockdowns, which made it difficult for airlines to operate and consequently grounded their operations.
Today, many airlines have suspended operations in Nigeria, increasing air transportation fare, job losses, inadequate infrastructure, foreign exchange scarcity, occasioned by the prevailing harsh economic realities, have brought this sector almost crawling on its knees. The quest for a lasting solution informed this breakfast meeting here at the Eco Hotel and Suite in Victoria Island, Lagos, on the 27th of October 2022, with the theme, Aviation in Nigeria, What Next?
The things you will expect anywhere in the world, don't just expect it easily here. If you add that to the fact that we have suboptimal domestic airlines. When I say suboptimal, I'm including my own airline. All of us are suboptimal because we could be much better if certain things were different. There's a lack of the ability to invest to build your airline because it needs a lot of financing. The financing is heavy. For us who have ordered for 10 brand new aeroplanes, we know how many hundreds of millions of dollars that is. You know, you struggle to meet ordinary Forex obligations to pay for the things that make the airline work. So, and everything on an aircraft is Forex based. If you can't get the Forex, how can you be an airline like other airlines in other countries that have access to Forex easily? You know, one of the biggest problems we have instead of running an airline is how to get Forex. After we don't do how to get Forex from morning till around 5 p.m., then after 5 p.m. we start thinking, let's run airline. We should have been running airline since morning. We were looking for Forex. And not that we found, though, we'll start again the next morning. You know? Then you add that to the government policy framework. This is not an intention to be critical, but more often than not, the framework kind of misses the target. Sometimes you even wonder if it is the point it is missing. But a lot of things come together to make it a very faulty foundation upon which this industry has been built.
All stakeholders have a role to play, which is why we are here today. The government must consider stimulus packages to support airlines and aid smooth operations. There is a need for the government to implement policies and infrastructures that will strengthen the sector. Concessionary arrangements and private-public partnerships be actively pursued and encouraged. Safety and maintenance standards should be improved and closely monitored and implemented. Also, stakeholders should constantly engage the government on ways to reposition the sector to be profitable and competitive. Air operators should adopt aircraft leasing and other innovative practices that will help manage costs and build efficiencies.
It's hard work, but it's not rocket science. And let's just do what the rest of the world does. Let's return to the basics. I say that you can't talk yourself out of a situation you've behaved yourself into. You're just going to have to behave yourself out of it. When people see that you've behaved yourself out of it, they start to believe you. We have to behave ourselves out of this rut that we are in. We can't continue to do this forever now. We have to wake up. Wasting time with 200 million people. Whatever we do about the agencies, if you like, let it be government owned. If you like, let it be privatized. If you like, let it be public-private partnership. All the models all over the world are successful. What it is about is providing reliable, world-class airport and airspace infrastructure services. That's all. I don't even care anymore. If you like, privatize. If you like, whatever. But let every airport in this country be like every airport you go to everywhere else, where we have navigational aids, visual aids, the right signage, the right equipment, everything is working, the staff are professional, they are custodians of the knowledge of their area of business. You can't be in an agency for 30-something years and not even know the business.
Government needs to support the sector. It's a very important sector. It's a sector that allows us to communicate, to move around the country. And it's a sector that is foreign exchange driven. I mean, the planes are bought in foreign exchange, they're maintained in foreign exchange. There's almost all their costs, other than their local costs, are foreign exchange costs. Their revenue is naira, unless they're traveling to countries where they can sell dollar tickets, but generally their revenues in naira. So where you have that disparity, and when you see the currency devaluating as it has in recent times, it's obvious that the airlines that sector is one sector that will struggle.
Speakers also deliberated on the implication of running the newly launched national carrier amidst current challenges.
Recently, the government launched the national carrier Air Nigeria. The announcement of the airline has sparked several reactions, including concerns by various stakeholders with respect to launching the airline with elections a few months away, foreign partnership with Ethiopian Airlines, and the equity allotment in the company. It is expected that these concerns will be addressed by the government.
If we are going to create a national carrier, why do we have about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 airlines that are struggling, where we could have all pooled our resources to create a national carrier that is not necessarily government owned? The minister explained that the government is owning 5% or so, and the rest is available for other shareholders. So, in a fantastic world, you ask all those airlines to all come together and let's put our resources, technical, financial, and otherwise, into one project where we can be very good and strong. So you look at the ones that we're partnering with Ethiopian Airlines, and I bet you don't have a proliferation of airlines in Ethiopia. Kenya Airways, you don't have a proliferation of airlines. South African Airways, you don't have a proliferation of airlines. You just have one strong one that everybody says, we're going to back you up and stay behind you. Obviously, in the past, people used to run away because of government strong participation and interference, to be quite frank. But now the model is the government says, okay, we'll take a back seat, okay, and we'll bring investors, both in terms of finance, expertise, competence, capability, partnerships, and so on, to help to get this new airline going. But at the moment, we're so diluted and so scattered that, again, the airline is going to come in, and I don't know how it would avoid facing the same challenges that the current airlines face. If you're going to be pulling from the same pool of experts, the same pool of pilots, the same pool of engineers, and all the huge support system that is required, it's going to be operating within the same environment that other airlines are struggling with now. So we really should have pooled our resources, if as far as I'm concerned.
The meeting was organized by the Nigerian South Africa Chamber of Commerce in conjunction with Philip Consulting, PCL, being part of activities to mark 30 years of exceptional service by Nigeria's leading indigenous consulting firm, Philip Consulting. It was indeed a special occasion.
30 years. I think it has been extremely fulfilling, and it's great to look back over those 30 years and see how not just you as an organization have evolved, but how the country itself has changed. And people always ask what was the motivation. And I keep reminding everybody that you got to look at those generational things. You know, way back 30 years ago, it was a new generation of entrepreneurs who were bankers. And I mentioned when you formed GT Bank, Zenith Bank, IBTC, there's so many banks that were created at that time for which a young generation of entrepreneurs came on board. And obviously we had to create an ecosystem around them. You know, you as a bank, there's a lot of support services that you need. And a consulting firm like ours was just well timed in coming up, and we're extremely busy. And going back to the days of quality management systems, the days of customer service, all those ideas which we take for granted today, but you know they were pretty new that time. And you find that these generational things have turned up again. You know, there was a telecom season where a lot of people again turned up to support the telecom economy. Now we're in the strong digital season where a lot of people again have turned up to support the digital economy. And that's just how it has been. And obviously for us, it's being able to change at each point to respond to what's new and what's trending from a business point of view. And that's how we've sustained it. And again, like I shared earlier on today, it's what it is that you want your organization to be. And our vision has always been that I wanted to create a firm that would outlive anybody that works in it. And that means succession, that means building a strong institution. And we've been through ups and downs, very, very tough periods, times where you wonder whether you would survive, and times when things have worked out very well for you. But the key thing is to continue to move on. And I think we've been successful in doing that.
Founded in 1992 with headquarters in Nigeria, Philip Consulting, PCL, is a leading business and management consulting firm serving clients across Africa with staff members that represent diverse professional disciplines ranging from business strategy, transformation and change, digital, information technology, and training. For your events coverage, advertisement of goods and services, Dara Network TV is a veritable platform for you. We'll give you a wide reach at a very considerable price. Follow us today on our social media handles: YouTube, Dara Network TV, Twitter at Dara Network TV, Instagram at Dara Network TV. Or send an email to gloriaforgabriel@gmail.com or contact Shino Daniels on the numbers showing on your screen: 0802 568 1978, 0903 027 9524, or 0705 898 9874. Dara Network TV, an online platform built on truth and integrity. Try us today.